You're watching the official channel of OrgoneGenerator.com, the only inventor of Orgonite and the Orgone generator. Today we're going to walk through a brief history of Orgonite, talk about the Orgone generator, how it works, why it works, and explain a few basic metaphysical concepts that are used in the functioning of the Orgone generator. Orgonite is 50% metal, 50% epoxy, and it was invented by Carl Welz in 1992. Now with our super Orgonite, we put a little bit more than those two ingredients in. I'm not going to go into all of them. Here in a power booster, you'll see the 99.99% pure silver output tube. We also use quartz crystal in all of our super Orgonite, which is trademarked but not patented. We did not patent on purpose. Wilhelm Reich, a student of Sigmund Freud, who studied Franz Anton Mesmer, the German scientist, of course, the origin of the word mesmerize, invented the Orgone accumulator boxes. He based his theories off what's been, our friends in the East for many, many years have called chi, prana. Orgone is simply another name for that, life force. So Wilhelm Reich, through a variety of strange experiments. By the way, Wilhelm Reich has very odd political and personal views. We do not care about those, nor do we associate with those in any way. We care about his theories, his discoveries. He also made claims about healing, of which there is no such validity. So with the Orgone accumulator boxes, wood, an organic material, and metal, inorganic material, Reich found that metal repelled Orgone, wood absorbed Orgone. And by layering these two with this male-female alternating dynamic, he measured the accumulation of bions and what he found to be life force. Because of the layering, the one repelling, the other attracting, layering these through in boxes, he'd find in the middle massive amounts of life force would accumulate. Okay, so essentially an Orgonite piece is many, many thousands of layers. Iron powder and epoxy. Epoxy, by the way, plastic is organic. I prefer to drink out of glass, but plastic is carbon-based, petroleum-based, so it serves as the organic part of that equation, the yin-yang dynamic. So those two together, plus the quartz, accumulate Orgone. Do not be misled. There's a lot of misinformation in the Orgonite community. Orgonite just accumulates Orgone. It does not generate it. This is our whole thing. Reich wouldn't even put his Orgone accumulators by high electricity areas. He'd only put them in serene environments. So what does this tell you when someone's peddling knockoff Orgonite? They say to put it by your Wi-Fi router. Well, Reich would say that this would accumulate and produce DOR, deadly Orgone. Now we use a very specific mechanism of pulsing electromagnetic frequencies through super Orgonite. All of the generators use a massive amount of super Orgonite in varying amounts depending on the generator. Here's the Performer 2400, the JU1000, and instead of patenting it, which patents can be, they might make you an offer you can't refuse on it. You can look up some stuff about the virus battery and other examples. Anyway, it's a proprietary technique, pulsing electromagnetic frequencies through the super Orgonite, which accumulates Orgone, and with the constant pulsing, the accumulation, it's turned into much more. It's a generation of Orgone. So you already have accumulation by plugging it in, turning it on, setting the frequency. The mechanisms we have inside the super Orgonite generate a life force field. You can test it, direct it, measure it. Now, with the direction of the life force, Of course, if you're next to the device, you'll get the feel from it. 9 out of 10 people feel it, by the way. That's the simplest, that's the true scientific way, not to be confused with modern scientism, which is much more like a religion. You can feel it. You can test it in water. Of other videos, there's a lot of people who do this stuff. But the Orgone generators produce a powerful output of orgone, life force, which you can measure, direct towards whatsoever means you desire. Now, in metaphysics, what's called a witness is basically a representation of something, somebody, a person, place, or thing. People might say, well, how possibly could just through a representation there be any effectiveness? Well, think of if you get a bill in the mail by your electric company, and they say, you owe us, and you say, no, this is just a sheet of paper. Well, if you don't pay it, your power goes out. How does that work? Well, really, these are concepts everyone already understands, of course. Just in the practice of metaphysics, it may take some testing to really fully believe it, but you have to test it yourself. Even if I cited 10, 15 studies, of which there are many, you look at quantum studies, quantum entanglement, the observer changes what is being observed. There's a lot of stuff out there, even in the highly academic realms. So basically, the symbol of the power company, their representation on the bill, on the letter, and of course the writing, which represents their message to you, it's backed by something. Of course, it's a representation. It's just like a picture is a representation of a person. Well, it's got the person, and it's a representation of it that you can use to access that thing. So same thing with laws. You can go into many examples. You look at a picture of someone and you get a feeling about them. So these symbols, these representations that are all around us that dictate and affect the functioning in day-to-day in the real world. Representations are very real. Also called structural links. They're very effective. So you can access, you've heard a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can access a person. You ever thought of someone and they call you? Well, the unified field is being more and more widely recognized, whether it be in the form of people call the string theory or quantum entanglement. And again, if you test it yourself, you'll find out sooner or later. If you're not happy, send the device back. But what I'm telling you is by putting a picture of a person on the device, that person can receive the life force output. So through a representation, you can access the real thing. If you're trying to buy a house, you can energize the house in a particular manner. Here's a label, a vitamin product. So you could use the label as a representation of this product, this substance, and direct it towards yourself. Homeopathy does this. They filter out, they start with an essence of something, like a plant essence, an essential oil. They filter it out so much that there's no actual substance left, yet they teach it in naturopathic schools, and they find it very effective, just the essence. So, if you don't believe in there being an essence, well, you can do the studies, you can do the tests, but a lot of you have experienced this before firsthand, which is the truest testament. So through a representation, using the life force generated, you can direct a particular trend, we call it, towards a different person, many people, a building. Like, okay, if you're trying to buy someone's house, the owner's there, maybe they're going through financial difficulties, they're not very open to talking or hearing your offer, they're afraid that you're going to take advantage of them. Okay, lavender is supposed to relax people. Well, if you wanted to test something, you can put lavender here, you can put the address written down, put it right here, and there you go. In metaphysics, it's called a witness, but a representation does carry with it an impact. You can achieve effectiveness through symbols. Again, how does the power company do it? Well, they have the backing. Well, this is backed up as well. The life force is the medium. So through a structural link, you can transfer to yourself different trends. On here we have preset trends on the performer: stamina, relaxation, subconscious commands, willpower, deep insights. Now these frequencies are set, the hertz frequencies, to achieve these ends, though you can also use it for any number of different settings, trends, operations. We have an online software program which can set up a series of rotating images, written texts, frequencies, and pulse the life force through the rotation that your operation is energized. So same concept with the power booster. In the Orgonite, you have a quartz piece that is broken in half. So there's a structural connection between the two pieces. Through that structural connection, that witness, that representation, the transfer occurs. The shortest distance between point A and point B is a structural link. So when you take this pendant with you, you're effectively transferring the pulsing life force output to the pendant. You can direct this device at 3 to 5 of your friends, the performer, probably 15, 20 simultaneously. A person can only have so much life force, so a bottle of water, a person, a plate of food, it will saturate with life force at a certain point. And if you're running many different operations, you can set it up so when one operation saturates, then it goes on to the next. Operations do have to be possible. Think about influencing a famous, beautiful celebrity to be your girlfriend or boyfriend. Well, there's so much energy around that particular trend. Take, for instance, Justin Bieber. How many girls are wishing at night that he was their husband? Well, so many people with their life energy trying to influence a particular outcome, you're dealing with that. Sports events, lotteries, stuff like that. It's a massive amount of energy that is affecting these particular things. So this will add a boost of life force to anything you're manifesting, working on, working out. So when you do these vision boards and you look at this vision board every day and they tell you look at it enough, eventually it'll come true. Of course, there's some steps in between. Same thing here, except what you're doing by looking at the vision board is you're energizing that outcome, that visual, with your own energy, your own life force, your own focus. They have shown that what is being observed changes based on the observer. So when you set up your witness, your structural link, through the life force medium, the effect is had. This is pulsing 24/7 life force towards your particular outcomes, operations, etc. Test it. If you don't like it, 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. Just don't ding up the device. We'll take it right back. We'll refund your money in full. We have a perfect 5-star review on our Etsy store. This is over 40 reviews, I think almost 200 sales. Better to go through us directly, orgonegenerator.com, though Etsy's fine also if you prefer that. And listen, we're here to talk. Give us a call. You can research this stuff yourself and test it out. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll talk to you later. orgonegenerator.com.